Okay, and we're ready for a new episode of Italy In and Out. Today we have James with us. Hi, James, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us today. And hi, Barbara, how are you?
Hello, not bad, thank you. Hello.
Good, we're wearing green, both of us.
Yeah, exactly. You see?
You should have told James as well.
Nobody told me.
Great, so James, just to start, tell us a bit about yourself. Where are you from? Where do you live? And what do you do?
Sure. So I'm from the United States. I grew up outside of the city of Philadelphia, and now I live in Colombia. I live in a small town called Armenia, which is in the coffee region, so it's kind of in the mountains. And I help non-native English speakers to communicate more clearly in professional settings.
Wow. Okay. So thank you for a lovely introduction. I'm just thinking, like a big city and then like a rural part of Colombia. How is it for you? Was it easy to get used to the local lifestyle?
Yeah, I love where I live. Something I don't like, before I lived in Colombia, I lived in Thailand, where it was very hot all year, and I did not like that. So I like that it's very moderate all year round, and the people are so friendly here, and yeah, I'm very happy here.
Excellent. Okay. Is this something that you struggle with at the beginning?
Yeah, I mean, there's still things I struggle with. So one thing you notice in Colombia, it's hard to avoid. It's a very loud country. I know in some countries it's a little bit disrespectful to speak on a phone in a bus, a public bus, or the train, or when you're waiting outside a doctor's office. But in Colombia, no. People will talk very loudly. They'll play music all the time. I have a neighbor who sings on our roof every morning. So it's something that I know, I'm not even joking. So it's something I'm still adjusting to. And since we'll get into the pandemic time in a bit, I think, but every weekend, a group of mariachis will put a giant speaker on the ground and they'll play and sing for the whole neighborhood, whether you want them to or not.
That sounds great, but at the same time, probably it's tough to get used to it all the time.
It can be, especially when you're working from home.
But live music for free, so that sounds great as well. Okay, so James, you mentioned the pandemic. Is there any funny or any particular rule in Colombia related to COVID? Any funny ones that you kind of haven't seen around the world?
Yeah, so it's interesting, I don't know how many of the rules here are official, like come from the top level, but a lot of buildings or, living communities or businesses have implemented their own rules. And so one of my friends took a picture of the parking garage in his building, and they blocked off parking spots. So you couldn't park right next to a car. You had to leave a space in between. And that was just like, okay.
That's different.
A little different. And then some businesses take it very seriously. So they'll have like, it's almost like those bottles that you use to spray fertilizer on plants. And they'll make you like do a little circle and they'll spray you from head to toe to make sure I don't know what. I hope it's safe. I hope it's not fertilizer. So they can be very intense about the precautions here sometimes.
Wow, sorry, I have to laugh because I saw that picture you just spoke about, and yeah, it was like really funny. You feel like seriously like a car can get sick. Okay, so sorry. Okay.
And I mean, yeah, at the beginning of the pandemic, people were a little more paranoid, but even now,
yeah.
people, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I probably have mentioned already this, but here in Milan we have like a problem with the supermarkets that you can buy just some items. So even when you get into the supermarket, you have just some items that you can't buy. Okay, and it's just so funny. So sometimes it's online and you can just pick up something. Okay, it's like I didn't really get it, but fair enough.
Yeah, it's the same here. So some parts of the store is just closed. They want, I think, clothes just for kids. I think it's the same in Milan, isn't it? Barbara?
Yeah, it is for kids, but then I was like surprised, like for slippers, you know.
Mm.
Yeah, so you can buy the slippers, but you can't buy that. Like, yeah, and you can buy glove, but you can't buy like a bra, but you can buy something like a socks. Yeah, you can buy them. So it's like, okay, it's really interesting to see like how people like think about like your body is growing or whatever. I just know, I just can't understand it. So,
And you still have these rules even now?
uh, well, we don't have them since this morning. Yeah, yeah.
No?
Okay, now it's today is 4th. Yeah, so from today we can shop whatever we want. Yeah.
And then I don't know about in parts of Europe, but on weekends that are holiday weekends, they'll institute what we call a ley seco, which in Spanish means a dry law. So you can't buy alcohol like after 12 noon on Friday until like Monday, right? Because they
Okay.
don't want people having parties, doing
Yeah.
that kind of thing, which is
Well,
interesting, right?
what they had to do here, because you know, in London and in the UK, people drink a lot. So at the moment, you can only have drinks if you're ordering food as well. You can't just have a beer or a glass of wine. You have to order food. So it's more like Italian style, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even like okay. Yeah, speaking about alcohol, we had the same rule here. For example, you can't buy any alcohol after 6 in the evening.
Mhm.
So yeah, that was enacted for a few weeks actually. Yeah.
And in Colombia, one thing they do, which is kind of cool, kind of weird, also something that took some time to adjust to, they have that no alcohol rule or no purchasing alcohol rule the day before elections in this country. And also usually on Mother's Day weekends for some reason. And it changes from like city to city, but it's something that they do with some regularity, not just in these kind of pandemic times.
Okay, that sounds interesting, doesn't it?
I
I mean,
never
I like
had anything like that.
the day before elections. I get it. You know, I'm sure it doesn't stop people who want to get drunk the night before an election, but you know, it's
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So thank you for sharing this. It's really new insight into like you know how it works in other countries because usually we tend to think that no other country is the best, but yeah, every country has its particularity. I would say, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, and
thank you.
everything's different. But,
Yeah. And our last question is: what are you working right now?
what am I working on right now? So I just started a community for my clients where we support each other. So each month we talk about a different topic related to business communication. And the idea is that, you know, even though we come from many different countries, I have clients from um, Colombia, Brazil, South Korea, Mexico, that we all have similar experiences in the professional world, right, as adults in the working world. So right now, I'm working on building this community, and we meet once or twice a week for a small group session, and we do some workshops at the end of the month. And it's been really a new adventure. It's a challenge for me because I haven't done this kind of group setting for a long time. But it's really interesting. It's a lot of fun. And most importantly, I am enjoying it so much. So,
That's great.
Yeah.
That's important as well.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's amazing. So thank you very much for being here today with us. And your project is really, really interesting. So if you have any updates, just please let us know. We will be happy to do a little shout out here. And yeah, if you would like to learn something more about James' story and project, just please feel free to follow me on Instagram. His account is English Arrow. Right.
Thank you
Great.
so much for having
Thank
me.
you.
Thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
James.
Thank
All
you.
right.